This is the Boom Podcast. The podcast that shows you how to build an amazing business so you can build an amazing life. The Boom Podcast starts now.
All right, Todd and Megan are throwing beverages across the table, across the podcasting equipment, and across their expensive laptops. Feels like a mistake.
Living on the edge today.
Feels like a mistake to me. It is Friday as we record. Timestamp it. You should really just listen to this on a Friday so that you're with us.
Yep.
We want you to be with us.
So if it's Thursday, just pause.
Yep.
Come back to it tomorrow morning.
That's right.
It's fine.
We'll be here. We'll be here when you're ready. Welcome to the big show, everybody. Happy to have you along as we continue on through season 4 of our virtual working from home season. I don't know if that's what we're calling it. No, it's like the keys to crushing the 8 keys. Remotely crushing.
When you're
Let's
not
talk about
there in the
this.
office.
That's right. Let's talk about this title.
Okay.
I feel like this had to be something you made up, but you, Megan. Remote recruiting gone wild with an exclamation mark. That's kind of fun. So that's what we're talking about here today. Very excited about it. Happy to be with you. I'm Terry. There's Todd. There's Megan. And there's Christian. You guys said nothing when I did that. Why are you mouthing?
I don't know. I just feel like
I feel like you have.
I don't want to talk all over you.
A similar shirt. Well, I just COVIDed on my computer.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, guys. I timestamped it too.
This is happening during COVID.
Your shirt is for those listening. Christian is wearing a what would be described as a Puma. Puma golf shirt, which is all a polo.
It's wicking.
All
you can
white.
tell.
It's a wicking material, and then it's got a bright yellow little
shoulder.
Shrine, shoulder thingy happening.
What did you say?
I was going to say shrine. I was gonna,
shroud.
Shroud.
Shrouded
Definitely shroud. It's shrouded in yellow.
Yes.
Little pop of
don't
color.
you have a similar shirt that's all yellow?
I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got color, man.
I
He's
tend
got
to
a good
go
color game.
I tend to go the same style and brand and then buy a bunch of them.
Yeah,
Bunch of colors. I like that move.
You find something that works.
You find something that
let
works,
me find
yeah.
just different
So
colors.
that's
Good
then.
for you.
Let's
Yeah.
go around the
No,
horn
Steve
real
is all
quick.
the same color though.
Yeah.
But it was a shirt he liked. It was like the style and
Yeah.
the shirt
Oh,
he
yeah.
likes.
And he'd buy a
but
bunch
he
of
did
them.
the same color,
But
too.
yeah. What,
This is a
You know, he
variation
also
of that.
never titled a car. He never had a plate.
What?
He would buy in California. You can have a temporary plate for 6 months. He'd buy one every
new car?
5 months and 30 days. He'd swap it. And
Really?
he never went to the license branch.
That's one way
Brilliant.
to save time.
Of course,
yeah.
we
I was
only
gonna
get
say.
a month and a half in Indiana, so we'll
Yeah.
pull it off.
6 months is a long time.
That is a long
Good
time.
Something he
job.
said brilliant. It's like all you got to do is just have a whole lot of expendable cash.
$4 billion. Say $4 billion.
Well, but that's the
$4
thing
billion.
about a guy like that. We talk about the dollar per hour arbitrage all the time.
yeah, sure. It's a
And
waste
for
of his
him,
time.
if he goes for 20 minutes even, he has lost $17
Yeah.
billion.
$17 billion.
So it's way more
really-
cost effective buying a
No,
new
that's
car.
genius.
That is
Yeah.
genius.
Are you on the golf course? Are you the flashy dresser? Are you kind of down the middle? Are you
I played
pretty
yesterday.
subdued? Okay.
what'd you wear?
I wore the yellow.
Describe what you were
the bright
wearing.
yellow Puma. Yeah.
Oh,
but
the
I'm
bright
not
yellow.
like, I don't do the pants and all that. No.
Most people are like, "Oh, how'd you play?" We're like, "What did you wear?"
Such a non-sports question.
No, how did you
What
play
are you wearing?
yesterday?
Who are you wearing?
Who were you wearing on the course yesterday?
I
How'd
was
you
wearing
play?
Puma.
How'd you play?
I shot a 79.
That's good.
I
Man.
played really well.
That's real
What's funny
good.
is I shot a 79 and I double bogeyed the 18th hole.
You keep blowing up on 18,
I
producer
know.
Christian.
I know, it's
You
terrible.
lose
The
focus.
pressure. The pressure.
No,
Todd-
I just hit a bad shot.
Okay. Todd plays really well through like 14 holes, and then he
14 holes.
loses focus, and
That's
he's
my
over
limit.
it.
That's
He's
my
done.
limit.
He's
14
done.
holes.
Is
and
that, how many beers have you had by then?
then- 14 holes.
14
so-
holes.
So
14
one
holes.
per.
Yeah, when Todd says, let's go play 18.
means let's have 18 beers.
Yeah, potentially. All right, welcome to the big show. We do want to talk about recruiting as we talk about the virtual process and running a brokerage or running a team or running yourself in a virtual way. So one of the key pieces about this is recruiting for agents that are trying to build a team or that have a team and want to grow, or brokerages. It's the name of the game, right? So that's what we're talking about today. How to do that in a virtual world. I'm excited about it.
Yes. It's exciting because, it's pretty similar for agents if you're going to team or, adding an admin or something like that versus a brokerage adding a bunch of agents.
Right.
The process is similar. You just do it on a different scale.
Yeah.
but there are hurdles and some obstacles when you're doing this remotely. It's not that standard, hey, Joe, why don't you come into the office and I'll sit down with you and we'll go over your numbers and what we can do for you. You know, it is a different mindset and there's a different way to do it, but we feel like we've mastered this enough that it's a really good plan with some really good tips on how to do this virtually that we actually think will be even better in the long run.
Did you plan this episode, Megan?
I believe I did.
I hope so, because
this has got Megan written all over it.
Are the queen
so. With
of
that
recruiting.
title, I'm pretty sure it was me.
You were named by Inman News as the recruiting queen of the world.
That's right.
Back in 1991.
That's right.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
So that
I
was
remember.
a great year for
It's a
you,
good year.
for the brokerage, for our lives.
You ever
That
go
was a
into
happy day.
You ever go into a restaurant and they've got like the voted #1 restaurant in the
yeah,
city,
like-
Right.
but it's like 5 years out of
Yeah.
date. Like, and
You're like, well,
Anything in the
What?
90s or early 2000s, you're like, what?
yeah, that's true.
No, even worse, it's like from the 70s or 80s. They're all faded.
we've got in real estate, as many listeners probably are aware of, there's the 5-star company out of Minnesota that you can tout that you're a 5-star realtor,
Right.
And you've apparently been nominated by your peers or clients.
Right,
or something.
right.
Nobody's ever nominated. It's all a money making
Yes,
grab by
yes.
these people.
Yeah.
But I saw a dude that in his email he was like, I was a 5-star realtor in 2017 and 2019.
Oh, 2018. What
It was a rough year.
What went wrong?
Just say you were a 5-star
Okay.
realtor. You don't have to time
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Why would you do that if you have the gap? Don't put the years on it if you have the gap. Just say that one time.
Or you
thing.
were like, and now what happened in like this? Oh yeah, not good. Not good.
That's hilarious. I love that. Oh man, that makes me
All
laugh.
right, so if we are going to be recruiting, you got to have a vision. You got to have a plan. What are your goals? Are you trying to get, is it all numbers or are you all culture? So what are the overall goals for it? And you need to make sure that you sit down and talk about that and have that plan. And this is same thing like if you just the same thing to agents that are out there. When you're creating a business, what are your goals for the year? Are you trying to do how many sales? Are you trying to up your average price? Those are the types of things we're doing. Even in a virtual world, whether you're an agent, team, or brokerage, you still have to have goals, all right? And a lot of this is based on numbers. That's where, at the end of the day, guys, this is a business. So a lot of this should be based. You can't just have a goal of like, I just want to have fun, all right? I mean, you can have fun, but at the end of the day, it is a business. You're in it to sell and make some money. So what are those goals? Now, Megan here said, reverse
Hi.
engineer that silly putty. That's in her notes. She wrote, reverse engineer that silly putty.
What
Do you
is-
have
what?
any idea what reverse engineer that silly putty means? Or were you too tired when you were writing that? We don't know.
What does that mean, Megan?
I meant putty. I might have meant
This
like
is the high
reverse-
quality content you've come to expect from the Boom Real Estate Podcast, everybody.
I might have meant like reverse engineer that silly thing or that silly
yeah.
willy. But I'm not sure why putty ended up.
And I
being
noticed that
that silly plan.
as soon as I pulled
Plan?
up, as soon as I pulled up the notes,
Autocorrect a putty?
maybe, yeah. As soon as I pulled up the notes, I noticed that I was reviewing, and I noticed that, and I thought
didn't even
maybe I
say
should ask before. No, let's wait until we're on air.
You saw it
Let's do
coming.
it live. Oh, that's funny.
So find your silly putty, reverse that thing back. By the way, I do think silly putty is just a silly thing.
silly.
Like it's not that fun.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
not
what?
fun.
We and when I realized that was because I was
Fight,
thinking about
fight,
it from
fight,
our
fight.
childhood, and then I got it for the kids one day, and I was
Yeah.
like, check
It's
this
not that
out,
fun,
and they
is
were
it?
like, what do you do with this? And like, you can put it on a newspaper. They're like, what's a newspaper?
You can bounce
You
it?
can bounce. I've got bouncy balls that bounce much higher.
That's amazing.
So, anyway, silly
Well,
putty.
they
Yeah.
just sound like awful children, and they
Yes.
should maybe be more creative with their silly putty.
I did
It's
find
like
I found a new
Play-Doh
use
that
for it,
doesn't
though.
get all over you.
I found a
It's
new
fabulous.
use for it.
You did?
Yeah. Cleaning your ear holes on your AirPods.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say your ear.
I thought you said
Actually,
ear holes
That's
too.
a great hack.
Yeah, because it sticks. You know how you
Yeah.
ever seen one of my kids did a
That sounds
pencil?
like a tech
they
tip.
took a pencil and,
And-
it clogged it all up with lead. I couldn't hear it, and you just take a putty. put it in.
Christian,
Nice.
that sounds like a
I was at a tech
really
tip.
good.
It's time for it. It's a tech tip. Always a little
You
late.
sounded you felt a little tight on that
I was
one.
tight. I was
feel
like,
like you
I was
weren't
waiting.
loose and going with it.
Christian,
Yeah.
you've already told them tech tip. Let's close it out.
Okay.
Okay.
It's time for it.
Loosen it up. Loosen it up.
It's a tech tip.
That was
Still late.
You know, you started late, but you rushed it too. That's
right.
okay. That's what happened on
right.
18 yesterday.
Yeah, it's true. I
It's a
lost
shame.
focus.
Lost focus.
I
Tempo out the window.
Yeah, and it was right up against the tree.
Yeah.
My first
The
shot.
tree's a killer. Every
But
time.
I drove good though all day.
So
Talk about
Once
my
you're
game.
done-
Nobody
once-
wants to hear about your
once you're
golf
done
game.
cleaning your ear holes with Silly Putty,
Yes.
you're going to want to take those goals, take those numbers, put them in a business plan.
Just to be clear, that's not what I
Yes.
said.
That's true. Yeah, it's been clear that is what he said.
not what I
Put them
said.
in a business plan, and then lastly, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do, guess what? It's very rare that nobody's ever been down your path before. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's one of the. We can't be too self-centered and selfish to think that we can just do it all on our own. Ask for help, and you will get there faster.
Love
There
it.
you go.
Love having a plan. All right, next thing you're going to do is create some systems and processes. So think about recruiting just like you think about working with your clients. You know, you have to have a business plan. You have to run your numbers. You have to have a system. Right now, we're to have a CRM or a tracking system or a touch system and process just like you do with your clients. Okay, so the Million Dollar Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller
Nailed it.
has, you know,
Was forward
this,
by Abraham Lincoln.
has this plan in it of touch them this many times, put them in a CRM, level, you know, categorize them. All of those things, you're doing the same thing for recruiting. You need to be organized, have a CRM,
Staying on that shot for now.
work on.
Sorry, go ahead. Just for you video people.
I'm doing boom social media.
Okay, all right. I was
little-
just checking.
Little juicy tidbits on the
people-
video
I'm
guys.
listening,
People
Megan, I
want
just-
content.
People like content, even during other content.
You got to multi-layer your content,
That's
guys.
right. I'm
You're
listening,
just not
Megan.
gonna
Right
make it
through
in the
this
world.
little
For
gap
those
here.
that
I'm
are,
with.
those that are listening at home, Terry was caught in an awkward moment where he's in his phone, deep in his phone, and Christian went to a YouTube shot of him rocking social media content, when we really know he was playing solitaire.
You know what stinks is
Does
like
anybody play solitaire on their phone? Is that the game they go to? It's like
doesn't?
Candy Crush now. Oh, okay.
I caught the whole Silly Putty conversation for social media, but
Oh,
then the
good.
video was like distorted weird. I had to scrap it, so it only
It's the
lives
Silly
in
Putty people.
audio.
Darn
They
it.
they don't want word getting
No,
out.
they don't want word out about the Silly Putty.
Silly Putty conspiracy.
I'm happy you didn't catch that. Okay, so you're going to have systems and processes for your recruiting. That's CRMs and tracking system, email campaigns that you're using. You know, have an email campaign that has certain times that you reach out and touch people. Social media, you need a plan there. Webinars,
Yeah, see?
Zooms.
You need a plan for social media.
You need a plan.
I'm doing social media. Be nice.
Webinars, run webinars, do Zooms, go to meetings, FaceTime, Messenger interviews. We do like a career and cocktails sometimes. I'll be like, hey, do you want to talk about career and have a coffee over Zoom? It's wonderful. I sat on a Zoom last night and talked to somebody, and during that talk, I was thinking, this is great. I can, I didn't have to take an hour to drive to them and them as well. We had an easy time scheduling it because we just hopped right in and we sat there and talked face to face. Yes, it was on a computer, but we laughed, we talked, we got deep stuff. I mean, I don't want people to discount how good a Zoom call or a virtual meeting can be. It's better than nothing, and you can do it a lot easier and more often. So have a recruiting packet. Just like you have a buyer guide and a seller guide, you need to have a recruiting packet ready to go that looks good. And then have a virtual tour of your team or brokerage. Do a video about you guys so people can really see who you are and what it would look like day to day to be a part of your brokerage or your team or your office.
I like it. Guess what time it is?
It's
What?
time.
Hey, you know it this time. It's time. The silly segment time. This is good. This is good. I'm going to put my phone down for this part.
I remember teaching Mac and all our other kids how to go to the bathroom.
Oh, no. Here we go.
And
Is this part of the silly segment?
This is part of the poop podcast.
No.
A call back to last
Dang it.
episode.
No, we never played the jingle, did we?
And no, not yet.
Okay, we'll
but
wait on that.
There's a book, and it has a train.
Yeah, the potty
little
train.
engine
Potty
that
train.
Oh,
It's
you're
called the
talking
potty
about the
train.
train.
Yeah.
Choo-choo.
And then you got to make those noises.
Yeah.
Poop, poop.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
You have turned every jingle for season 4 into a poop jingle.
A poop reference.
2
everyone.
for 2. You've ruined them both in consecutive episodes.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. Are we closing the segment?
No. All right.
That was silly, though.
This story, Terry and Megan are aware. So I've tried to go outside of real estate with all these stories of basically the premises, aren't you glad you're not A? And this is going to be pizza delivery. Terry and Megan are aware of this because one of our real estate agents that's in our brokerage, he shared this story with us from pre-real estate times. So I'm going to share it with you guys. You two can pretend like you've never heard it before and just
all right, let's do that.
and just break down
Play
in
along at
tears.
home.
Christian, you just play normal.
Okay, I'll just do my normal thing.
All right. As a manager of a local Papa John's, we had a lot of repeat customers, but one in particular was a real pain. He ordered every Friday night, and every time we delivered, he'd call back with an issue with his order, as he knew that our policy was to always deliver another pizza if we screwed up, even if we didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. He was playing his angles. This drove me crazy. So one night I finally decided to take control of the situation. As soon as he called in, I took the call, took the order, made the order, and hand-delivered the order. Again, this is the manager.
Single-handedly.
Yeah, single-handedly did it. He said I handled absolutely everything for him from start to finish to ensure there were no screw-ups.
Right.
Of course, just as in every time before, and before I could even get back to the store, he had called in to complain about his order.
Before you even got back.
The employees put him on hold so I could speak with him. This is when I let him know that I had handled everything that I knew that I knew the order was right, and that he could not be getting another free pizza. He finally put his foot down and said, "No pizza for you. No pizza for you." Apparently, that response wasn't satisfactory. 15 minutes later, I heard the crew panicking and came out to find the same customer smearing his pizza all over our windows.
No.
He came
Pizza
in,
on the windows.
sprayed his 2-liter at us, proceeded to open up the sauce cups and dump those all over the floors.
Nacho cheese.
And then threw his breadsticks at us.
Now, hold on.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
throwing breadsticks.
No, I
That's over the
envision
line.
individual sticks and him choosing a target and say, whipping it at people, and they duck out of the way. I hope that's what happened.
And then just like boomerang, he makes some into a boomerang, it comes back to
like
him.
a ninja star.
Yeah.
Folding the
That'd be
broomstick in
amazing.
half. And then,
Yes.
Of course, all while telling us that he loved our service with as many 4-letter words as possible.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wow.
So much for the customer is always right.
Yeah, and we followed. I said, did you call the police during all
Right,
this?
right.
And he said, yeah, but I think the guy was gone, right, by then.
He smeared and ran.
Smeared and ran.
Smeared.
He smeared and he whipped the breadsticks at his people and
Yeah,
he ran.
and out.
But he is no longer welcome at that Papa John's.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a 6-foot restraining order
Yep,
around the
6
perimeter
feet.
of that Papa
He
John's.
can go to the window.
He can.
Yep.
He can social distance.
He can,
wear
but he
a
can't
mask.
rub his pizza on the window, and that's why
Yep.
we do that. How
That's
we do
right.
it. I like it. That's a good
I'm trying to think
story.
if I've ever, I've been in, Terry and I have been in restaurants and stuff before, and I was just trying to think, we shared earlier in the season a story about a customer, but I was just trying to think, if there ever been somebody that, you see videos of just people throwing their
crazy.
food back
Yeah.
at them and screaming, getting into fights and stuff over, maybe wrong orders or something like that.
Right.
I don't know
I
if
get
I've ever
hangry.
seen that. I do get hangry.
I get a little hangry.
Do you think that's ever been in court? Somebody's like, I'm so sorry,
my blood sugar
Judge.
dropped. I
I
got
was
hangry."
Probably that way.
hangry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm even wearing the hangry T-shirt
Yeah.
for you.
Can't
Yeah.
you see? I was hangry.
Yeah,
I
that
bet,
might be.
I bet somebody's used that plea before.
Is that temporary insanity, you think? I was so hungry. I was blinded by hunger.
I think I shared the story with you guys one time. This has nothing to do with food, but a funny court thing was my dad's.
Are we still in the silly segment? Can we close it
you
out?
can close it
No,
out.
no, 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 no.
we're still
wrap it
okay.
with the story.
Almost hit it.
So and I
This
think
close.
I even shared this maybe on the podcast, but so I'll make it really quick. But my dad's business partner, someone told a story one time when he was living in an apartment by himself, woke up to hear somebody rumbling around and basically robbing him. Went out and tackled him, called the police. This dude's a big dude. Called the police. Police came in. what you didn't realize this whole time is the guy sleeps naked. So when the police came in, they found him sitting naked on top of this guy, pinning him down so that he wouldn't get out.
Serves you right.
There was some explanation.
But he went to the court and in front of the judge, he said we were having a gay lover spat. And,
smart.
And that's why we were fighting. I wasn't robbing him.
Smart. I bet that didn't fly. You have to show history of the relationship in some way, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. I just like the image of a naked guy sitting on another guy saying, "You should be ashamed of yourself." like he's just out there and anything. All right, that's enough silliness. Let's wrap it up there, producer Christian.
Get on the train for Todd Silly segment.
I'm hungry now, though, at all the thought of pizza and breadsticks and sauces. Let's break for lunch after this episode, guys. Let's break for lunch.
Sounds good to me.
Let's all into our microphones really briefly. Oh, no, we closed the silly segment. Sorry. Back to it. Let's talk tools, Todd. Let's talk about the tools we use.
What's the most serious that you can do?
I'll cut that part out. All right. Christian. That was Christian, Mom. My mom listens to the show. Big fan of the show.
All right, so some tools. When we're talking about When we're talking about recruiting, we want to make sure that you're using tools to do this. And again, we're trying to apply this across the board. So if you're an agent and you're recruiting clients, it's the same thing. One thing you have to have in this business is a CRM, a customer or a client relationship manager, right? These are the basis of making sure that you have their information, you have notes about them, you have follow-ups planned. It's all there in your CRM,
right?
All right, so make sure that you have that. MailChimp is another one. We talked about having regular messages to them, making sure that you're staying in touch with them with an email campaign.
Yep.
One of the best ways that you can do that is through MailChimp or whatever provider you want to use, but make sure that you have regular follow-ups with them, and we would highly, highly emphasize that you use video in those follow-ups.
Oh, nice.
Zoom, GoToMeeting. I don't know if you guys have heard about those things.
No.
But it's a virtual meeting
Really?
space.
Okay.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
I
And
think
it's
it's going to take
Zoom.
off.
It's called Zoom.
Yeah, and
that's kind of a silly name.
I don't want to.
That's not going to work.
I don't want to date us, but we're currently recording this in.
It's September 4th, 2020. Go ahead.
It's September
How's it
4th,
the
2019.
It's
I'm going to make a
2019.
wild proclamation that Zoom is going to become a really important thing.
He's misdating it, so we appear smarter.
That's pretty smart.
I'm even going to go as far to say that I think there might be a pandemic coming.
Whoa.
That's
no
crazy
way,
talk.
no. That'd be
Now,
crazy.
Now, are we predating this now?
I don't know. I feel like
2019.
my Miss Cleo right now is.
Okay.
That's highly unlikely, Todd. Highly unlikely.
All right, so make sure that you use Zoom. Go to meeting.
I miss
Obviously,
Y2K.
critical for
Silly.
I don't want to date us, but it's 1999, and I don't think
All the
anything wrong
computer
is going to
systems.
happen.
You are
at the end of the
crazy.
year.
All the
I know
experts are
everybody's
saying
speculating.
But in 10
Y2K is
years.
coming.
And seeing that it's 1999, wildness, but I think sometime in our future there's going to be a non-politician that will become president.
Whoa.
Just put it out there. Put it out there.
That's too crazy.
I don't want to date us, but it is July 3rd, 1776.
What's going to happen?
I think this country thing, I think we're going to be our own country and no longer part of Great Britain. I also think podcasts are going to be big in about 400 years.
What else do you need? You need to make sure that you're on social media. And if you're on social media, you should have a business page, because with a business page, you can run ads. You should build landing pages. You should be click funneling it. You should be rocking it. And if you don't know how to do it, go to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's where we go.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true because so many people, we talk about all these tools and all these things that we use in our brokerage or things we suggest, and people say, oh, I can't do all that. Like, well, everybody has to learn.
Right.
Everybody has to
Yeah.
figure it out, and it's never been easier to learn these things.
Yes.
So take the time and do it.
Yep. You need to make sure that you have online storage, so Google Drive, Dropbox, Box.com. You need to make sure that you can present with just like a webinar version, which would be GoToWebinar was a great choice for that.
I think Zoom you can too. There are ways to do Zoom as a webinar as well, I think.
Yep. And those are ones where you just like, if you're going to do some kind of recruitment thing and you want to have multiple people in, but you don't want them live, like asking questions and interrupting and stuff, put it on a webinar so that they can just put it in the chat room, which then doesn't go to everybody. You get to see the questions that come in so you can filter out what you want want the public to know and not.
Nice.
And then lastly, of course, you got to have a website. You got to make sure that you have PDS videos, everything available through your website so that people can research you. We know today that people always go and look for reviews. They want to research you online before they make decisions. So make sure that you are online first and foremost, and then make sure that you are looking good online, which means you need to Google yourself.
We have said you have to have a vision and plan. You have to create systems and processes. We've told you the tools to use and ones that we use as well. A couple of quick hitters now as we wrap things up on this conversation.
Yep. Next, just do it. You got to reach out. You have to try and hire people and recruit people, and you have to reach out and do it. Just do it. Go for it. You've got all the things we just told you to do to make it amazing. Now you need to go for it. Reach out.
Final word, Todd.
Final words would be simply this: communicate consistently. If you're going to do it, you got to make sure that you're consistent with the communication, because that's how you will lock them in.
My pizza is wrong again! I'm going to fling these breadsticks at you!
He is currently, for anybody at home, Terry is currently smearing
I'm going to smear
pizza all over Christian's
the whiteboard.
this pizza all over that whiteboard! You are a good predictor, Todd. Well done. Impressive. We'll see you next time, Season 4 of the Boom Real Estate Podcast.
Who's got the silly putty?
Season 4, it's the Boom Podcast. Season 4.